Hello and welcome. Today is the 23rd of April 2021, and had our good friend Mr. Fallon hung around long enough, he would have turned 50 years old today, and without a shadow of a doubt would have been out on the town celebrating with a group of friends, who I'm sure would have been regretting it for the following 7 days. However, sadly, that's not to be the case. So what do we do to mark his 50th birthday? Well, we had planned to get together, a group of us, and have a big party, but unfortunately, due to COVID, that's not to be, maybe at some point in the future. So Justine came up with the idea of putting a video together where a number of his many friends out there could actually say a few words, tell a few stories, and have a little bit of a laugh, and celebrate his birthday in the way that we know he would have wanted it celebrating. So, without further ado, and thanks to Mr. Johnny Shrimpton, who's edited all this together, we're going to watch some of those clips now and have a smile and a cheery face. So, before I go, I just want to say, wherever you are, my friend, looking down on us, I wish you the best, and I miss you. And we'll be together one day, and we will party, okay? Oh, God's sake. Oh, Jack D and Coke, I don't know how you drank that shit, honestly. Ugh.
If there was a story, one of my favourite ones really was at one of the live awards, or TPI as it used to be, where you decided to show me where the party room was in the hotel. And we were up there having a look so I'd know where to go when I was extremely drunk later on in the evening. And as we were having a look, there was someone from the hotel management came and started berating you about the fact that last year there'd been a massive party and something like this could not happen again, and you were very apologetic, very humble, and saying no, absolutely not, it certainly won't be happening again. And while all this was going on, people were trying to squeeze a flight case through the door. And when I said to you afterwards, what was that flight case, what was in that? You said, oh, that's the bar. Lovely. Well done, Des. Happy 50th, my friend. Thinking of you always. Lots of love. Bye.
Des Fallon, in 3 words, she said. Well, there's a challenge, or where to start. But after a lot of thinking, I settled on one of a kind, and he'd have probably argued that that was 4 words. For someone I feel I know so well, thinking about this for the last few days, I realised I hardly knew him at all. For so many years, he was ever present in my working life. But he was on the other side. He was the competitor you so didn't want. We all seem to remember Des the comedian, the life and soul, and often the cause of the party. But he was so much more. He was a consummate professional. He had a passion for what he did, a relationship with his clients, and a rapport with his crew that few of us can match. I was going to add to that an attention to detail, but I think maybe that was his colleagues, but whatever. Those qualities were an integral part of building the legend that was XL Video. Alas, both were taken way too soon. Des's colleagues, many of whom I count as really dear friends, have gone on to build great new businesses. But none, I think, we will remember, whether friend or foe, as fondly as we remember XL Video. And as for Des, well, he's up there somewhere with way too many of our other greats, no doubt with a twinkle in his eye, no doubt planning something special for his 50th. God, he was taken way too young. Happy birthday, Des, wherever you are. Cheers.
Hey Des, it's Crookers. And Gav. Heard it's your birthday coming up. Miss you lots, buddy. Miss you, buddy. We're down here in Australia. We'll raise a drink to you.
Guinness,
of course. All right, see you guys.
three words that come to mind when I think of you, Des. Lovable, rogue, and missed. Very missed. I'd say very missed, but that'd be four words. Because you were the heart and soul of everything that now seems to be missing. And I think of you very often, as I'm sure we all do. You represented so much of what I enjoyed about working in this industry. And in fact, sometimes I think of a situation where a younger form of yourself is working down at Shepherd's Bush Market, trying to sell a suit to some unsuspecting character and sealing the deal by somehow including a huge fuck-off LED screen as part of the deal. That's just my mind, I'm sorry. But, so you are 50, except you're frozen in time, and you always will be, as that young, cheeky chap we all loved, and we all miss.
So, 10 years, Des Fallon. I still miss you, man. Just as much. Wherever you are. Here's to you. Love you, man.
Hey, Wigsy here. I've been asked to do a 30-second bit for Des, who would have been 50 this year. Here's us when we weren't 50. 3 things I remember about Des. Number 1, he was the funniest bloke in the music business. I never saw him serious. Number 2, he was always late for everything, especially if it involved you talking to him about money, late. And number 3, he was a really good mate. I learned after his death that I was underpaid on every single tour I ever did with Des, but it absolutely did not bother me whatsoever. I kept his last text to me for years on my phone, and his last text said, "I'll see you in the bar." So Des, few years mate, we'll see you in that bar. Cheers.
You know, 50, bloody hell. It's been a long time since I met the boy. I think it's like 33, 34 years. And he was a game changer. He really was. He changed all our lives for the better. And well, he'll always be in our hearts. You want some memories of him? Well, I've got a lot. But it's that old roadie code. What happens on the road stays on the road. And he would be up there, you know, thinking, God, don't say anything. But I'm not going to. But there's a few snippets of, you know, what we got up to over the years. There was the time in the, yeah, I miss the boy. I really do. From when he first showed up at Sammy's in the late 80s. You know, to see him get together with Chris and Lee and the boy Burford and becoming a giant, you know, a giant of the industry. What he did and the boys did at XL, fantastic, and they should be immensely proud of that. And Des was a key part of that. But I miss him, I really do. And I hope his kids get to see this because their old man was a wonderful, wonderful human being, and you should be very proud of him. You know, you really should. But anyway, it's 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and I've got nothing Irish. Well, I've got one little thing, because I used to call him Desi O'Fallon. Always used to make fun of his Irish roots. because I'm sure he was half Jupo. But anyway, Desmond, good luck. I love you dearly, brother. Take care.
August 96, Des found me in the back of the PSL warehouse in Humber Road and took me to my first ever gig, V96. Little did I know, I was the video engineer for the main stage that weekend. The following week I found myself in Highlands Park for the Chelmsford Spectacular. Halfway through the headline act, he told me to put the cameras in auto, and he led me up to the back of the field behind the crowd, and facing the stage with his arms high and wide, proclaimed this was what a job in rock and roll meant. For a moment, all I could see was some really overexposed camera pictures, but then realised what he was offering me. From that moment on, I was never going to have an ordinary job. I loved it then, and I still do now. Happy 50th, Des. I owe you.
So my most endearing memory of Des Fallon is at our wedding in 2003, where a bunch of Brits came over to be with us, and being in Brazil, Des and everybody else sort of did what we do, and on the morning before our wedding,
Morning of our wedding,
Sylvia decided she wanted fairy lights. And I will never forget the sight of Des Fallon up a ladder, having not slept, rigging fairy lights. Absolutely phenomenal. Happy 50th.
we love you.
Heavens. 3 words to describe our Des. Heavens. One would be motivator. He always knew how to get me and others kind of moving in the right direction and talk us into doing things we weren't necessarily that keen to do. But he'd always do it with a twinkle in the eye and a spring in the step. And he had this amazing ability to make every person in the room feel like they're the most important person in the room. Artist, of him too. He was obsessed with the art of the industry and about show business, and he worked like an A&R guy, kind of putting different creative people together and to see what they could produce, which is a wonderful thing. I remember doing a show for Block Party where it was kind of a lower budget show, and I kept asking if I could add some bits and bobs onto it to make the show look cooler, and he just said, put whatever you fancy on it and want to see what you can do with it. Probably much to the chagrin of all the bookkeeping department. And number 3 would definitely be mentor. I wouldn't be doing all the fun things I'm doing and have the career I have without Des's support and his guidance and pushing me forward to do things I'm not necessarily very comfortable in doing. I'm way outside my comfort zone usually. And it usually worked out okay. And then if it went a bit wobbly, he'd always be there with a comforting words, cup of tea, and highlights of the Archers from the previous Friday. So yeah, bless his cotton socks. Love you, Des.
Yeah, so I've been thinking for the last few days on what to say for this thing, and the only thing that really keeps coming to mind is I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my friendship with Des. As many of us wouldn't be where we are today without our friendship with Des. So happy birthday, brother. I miss you. I love you. I think about you all the time. God bless. Drink.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy 50th birthday, Mr. Des Fallon. Happy 50th birthday to you. Mate, what can we say? I think about you daily, always in my thoughts. Hope you're causing chaos up there like you did down here. 3 words to describe you? Don't know if I could use 3, but the 3 that come to mind is I miss you. Take care, buddy. Look after yourself. And one day we'll be meeting again. Take care. See you soon.
Desmond. Well, I didn't want to choose 3 words to describe Desmond. I'd like to choose 1. And that word is legend. What a legend. A sorely missed legend. I just wanted to share with you a story of how Des and I first spent time together. We'd known each other for a few years, from speaking on the phone, through mutual acquaintances. But we actually first met at a Gorillaz show in Manchester and got chatting and hit it off straight away. So that was day 1 in my quest to share friendship with Des. And the second occasion came a number of months later when Des flew out to New York to join us at the Harlem Apollo for 5 sold-out nights of the Gorillaz at the Harlem Apollo, for which I was stage manager. So yeah, I had a really amazing week working with a bunch of absolute legends, but the biggest legend of that week was undoubtedly Mr. Fallon, and the time I spent with him chewing the fat after every performance and after hitting the bar and then returning to a hotel room talking into the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, so we bonded that week, and from that point onwards he was a trusted aide and a very dear friend of mine, somebody that I could call on and speak to and ask for advice. And I think you'll agree one of his biggest qualities was encouragement, giving people encouragement. And Des was instrumental for me because he believed in me and said to me to really push forward with what I was doing. And when I landed my first production management job, he was one of the first people to congratulate me and to let me know that he thought I deserved it, which was just incredible. You know, very few people give you encouragement, but this man certainly did. So with that, I will finish, only to say that I miss him dearly, but his legacy lives on, the legend lives on, and I think we should raise a glass to that legend. So thank you all the best.
Well, here's 50 years to my old mate Desi, who given me a lot of memories over the years. Some of them have been good, some of them interesting, all of them memorable. I love you loads, mate. I wish you were still with us. So sad that you're not. Take care. Lots of love.
Hey Des, still here, being a vidiot. God, who would have thought all those days ago, living it, the last days of touring rock and roll as it should have been. Miss you. Oh, and I wish you were still here. Cheers, mate. Take care.
Yes, 3 words. Okay, alphabetical order. Hilarious, beautiful, benevolent.
Des, so today we are celebrating, we're all together celebrating your 50th birthday. You know, it takes me back to when I was a boy and you took me under your wing as I blundered into video, and you stuck with me until I blundered out a couple of years later. I think we all established there was a lot of blundering. Mate, you're so funny. You picked up more awards. There should have been a cap on awards. Every time I saw you, you were collecting an award. It was always a joy to see you. Such a funny guy, so supportive. Mate, what a legacy. Who would have thought? You've also got this in before I get my lockdown haircut in 5 hours. So well done for that, the last laugh. Industry's in tatters, mate. Industry's a mess, shambles. You would have sorted it out, obviously, way ahead of your time. Mate, happy for you.
Hey Des, in life you were my mentor, and in death you're still an inspiration 10 years down the line. We miss you every day. I remember the first day that I met you when I was 14 in PSL with Chris Gaddy and Scott and Scotty and all the other, everybody else that was there, and God, we were all kids back then. And I remember the last shapes that we threw in my living room, you know, a week before you died. I miss you very much to this day, and yeah, sending you all the love to wherever you may be hanging out these days. I'm sure you're hanging out with a bunch of reprobates. Much love. See you on the other side.
Pandemic world. Hello everybody. I want to say happy birthday to Des, who I first met, I think in 1994. And we worked together for a few years on all sorts of things like suede tours and events and things for Walt Disney. And I have nothing but fond memories, and I'm sure we all feel the same. But one of the most incredible things was actually when I started working with Justine, and during London 2012, and we were sat in a room in Channel 4, and I didn't know her connection to Des, and she didn't know my connection to Des. We'd never met, and it suddenly kind of came out about a minute before the Channel 4 person walked in the room, and there was this incredible moment of connection because we were both talking and thinking about Des, and it was kind of really emotional and quite upsetting. And then in walked the person from Channel 4 who obviously thought we'd just had an incredibly intense kind of row or something. So I like to think that might have amused Des, and miss him, and obviously it was very sad. But I'll always have the memory of Justine at Channel 4 and I in that room looking like we might have just nearly killed each other 30 seconds before the Channel 4 meeting started. So anyway, there we go. Happy birthday, Des, and love to you, Justine and Tom, and I hope there are some familiar faces watching this film. It'd be nice to see you all in the real world soon.
Three words for me to describe Des would be best bro ever. Because that's what it was. Miss you, mate.
So here is me talking about Des. He was an extraordinary man. He did a lot of naughty things. He was quite flaky sometimes and used to drive people nuts. But he had a unique ability to walk through a door, and the second he did that, everything melted away. All the frustration and anger and anything else just disappeared, because actually underneath it all, he was a lovely, lovely man who cared deeply for a lot of people and who just wanted the world to be a better place and for everybody to excel at what they were doing. Actually, underneath it all, he just wanted everybody to be happy. I, like many others, loved him to bits and still love him every day. and miss him desperately. But I focus on the most amazing things about having known him, which was that he helped me in my career. He helped me become a better person. I loved watching him do the same to other people. One of his favourite expressions was, "I want you to go to bed tonight with a smile on your face because you should be proud of yourself." I heard him say that a lot to a lot of people, and he meant every single time, and they earned it every single time. But the most important thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say is, when we lose people we love, we have to focus on what they left us and how lucky we are to have had them in our lives. And I'm the luckiest because I had the best possible gift in a little person that he left behind to be with me, who's not that little anymore and wanted to say hi, not the dog. So yes, remember how lovely he was, remember how lucky we are that we knew him, and remember the gifts he left behind for us all. And yeah, come and get your Lucasade, Mr. Fallon. What do we say? Happy 50th,
Happy
Des.
Imagine yourself on a boat on a river with tangerine trees and strawberry skies. La da da da. That's sexy Sadie, what have you done? You made a fool of everyone. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life.
Yeah, oh, ain't you proud to beg, sweet darling? Please don't leave me, girl, don't you?